Today's daf is Masechta Sanhedrin, Daf Nun Zayin, and we're going to do from Daf Nun Vav Amud Beis. Let's just review what we're discussing over here. So I'm just going to go. It's very simple what we're discussing. We're talking about the seven mitzvos that were commanded to Bnei Noach. Now, it doesn't mean that Noach. It means for Goyim. And the first Gentile, the first human being, Adam Arishon. Adam Arishan, that's who was commanded. But since the world was rebuilt after Noach, it is known as the seven Noahide commandments. So what are they? So dinim, one of them means that they have to set up court systems. Birkas Hashem, they're now allowed to, and that's how we got into discussion. They're now allowed to, so to speak, curse Hashem, avodah zarah, worship idols, gila arayas, to do znus with a married woman, shvichas damim, killing, the gezel, they're not allowed to steal, the aver minachai, and eating the limb of a live animal. And we're going to learn that, even according to some opinions, if they do any of these seven Noahide laws, they violate it, they get Misa. Misa is with the sword. So what was the source? I believe the source is a tradition. That's basically it. It's a tradition. However, the Gemara on Amud Beis brought this pasuk: "Vayitzav Hashem Elokim al ha'odam leimor mikol eitz hagam ochol toichel." God commanded the first man that told him, from every tree in the garden you can eat. From this pasuk, the Gemara darshans, the Gemara has a hint for all the seven Noahide laws. Again, the way to remember them, by the way, is the top three, which is avodah zarah, gila arayah, shvichas damim. And then you have the Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, which is, Aleph would be Eva Menachai, Beis would be Birkas Hashem, blessing God, which is the opposite, and Gimel would be Gezel, and Dalet, and Dalet would be Dinan, okay, Dinan. So that's the Kedarshan from this pasuk. Then we learned yesterday, at the end of the day, that there is an opinion that takes out two of them. It takes out dinim and it takes out birkas Hashem, and instead this Menashe put in seirus uklayim. That the seven mitzvahs are avodah zarah, gila arayah, shvichas damim, gezel, eva menachai. Seirus means castration. And they can't castrate an animal or another human being. The kalayim, and they cannot mate two animals that are the opposite, that are not from the same species. Okay, so now we're beginning on Samech Vav Amud Beis, about 6 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Yehuda said, Adam Arishan lein stave el al avodah zarah bilvad. Adam Arishan was only commanded on avodah zarah. Shnema vayitzav Hashem Elokim al ha'adam. God commanded Adam about who is the God. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, there was only one mitzvah given to Adam Arishan, that is avodah zarah. Rabbi Yehuda ben Meseira af al birkas Hashem, that even he should not curse Hashem, because Elokim, we could learn that God commanded him all the laws regarding the name of God, and that you're not allowed to curse the name of God. The Yesham and others say af al adinim, that they were commanded also on putting together judges. God commanded Adam Rishon to have a judicial system, and which means God said, "I'm God," and therefore you don't have to be afraid of anybody, even to bring somebody to justice, because I'll protect you. So, according to this opinion, there were only 3 commandments said to Adam Rishon. So, Kaman Ozla Ha Amar Yehuda Amarav Elahimani. God said to Adam Arishan, "I'm the God. Loisa Kalaluni, don't curse me. Elahimani, I'm God. Loisa Maruni, don't exchange me for another God. Elakimani Yemaroi Alechem, you should fear me and don't be afraid of people to bring them to justice." Kaman Ki Hashamim. This expression of Yehuda Amarav aligned itself with the Yesh Armin, who said that Adam Arishan was commanded on 3 mitzvahs: avodah zarah, birkas Hashem, af al adinim. But that's I guess, a rogue opinion. We are always familiar with the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach. So now the question is like this: Tana de Menashe. Menashe had 7 mitzvahs, but he didn't learn it from the pasuk Vayitzav Hashem Elokim. Because then why did he added he took out two and he put in a different two, Seirus and Kalayim. So Idarsh vayitzav afilu hanach nami. If the Beit Menashe uses the pasuk by Adam Rishon to teach you the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, then he should have the same counting, the same amount, the same listing that the Tanakama had, that the other people had. Ilav darsh vayitzav hani minole. So if he doesn't use vayitzav, where does he know that these are the 7 laws of b'nei Noach laws? Answers the Gemara, la'olam lo darsh vayitzav. He doesn't have vayitzav. But Hani, all the 7 laws that the Beit Menashe has as the 7 Noahide laws, each one he found a different pasuk that tells you that this must have been osir for a Gentile. So again, he's going to go through the Chumash Bereshis, and for there you're going to learn that for a Gentile, these things must have been all osir. So for example, Avodah Zarah Gilei Rayos. These are the first 2 Noahide laws. How do you know they were osir to Bnei Noach? How do you know Adam Rishon was osir to do Avodah Zarah and Gilei Rayos? The Ksiv, we go on Zion Amid Aleph, the Ksiv, because the Pasuk says, the reason why God decided to bring the great flood, because the Pasuk says, Vatishachetz ha'aretz lifnei olakim, that planet Earth became destroyed. This Vatishachetz, it became destroyed. What does it mean it became destroyed? V'tana debei Rabbi Shmuel, what were people doing? B'chol malkam shenema hashchasa, whenever you see destruction, people destroying themselves, Eine ela devar ervav avodah zarah. They're either doing znus, avodah zarah. We'll call it drug use, whatever you want to call it, avodah zarah. So that's tishachis, destroying themselves. Devar erva. How do you know the word erva refers to uses the word destruction when we're referring to znus? Shnema kihishtus kolbaso gazdarkoi. And the normal way is to do it with a lady and your own wife, and therefore that's what the pasuk is saying. Avodah Zarah, the ksiv pentishchisim v'asisem. There's a pasuk that says if you destroy yourself and make yourself an idol. So we see Avodah Zarah and Gilei Rayos are what was osir. If God's angry and bringing the flood because of that, it must have been osir for Adam Rishon. The idach. What about the first Tana that learned it from another pasuk that Avodah Zarah and Gilei Rayos were osir because of the pasuk vayitzav? What does he learn it over here? Because urchayu deka megalile. In other words, that the Torah is telling you what's the reason why they got punished, but it's not telling you that they were warned not to do that. It's not telling you from the real warning was from Vayitzav, that was said by Adam Rishon. The Rambam is just telling you that they violated it, but doesn't tell you. You cannot derive that that it was osir just from that pasuk. Shvichas damin. How do you know Noahide is not allowed to kill? Because that it clearly says the ksiv, the pasuk says, and I want to bring this up. Hold on, I'm going to bring up my Sanhedrin 57 over here. Here, I'm going to bring you the pasuk. These are some of the pasuks that you're supposed to know. But when it says by Noach, shoifich, when God, after Noach came out of the teva, God said, shoifich adam dama adam ba'adam dama yishafich. You spill the blood of a human being, ba'adam. We'll see what that means. But if you spill the blood of another human being, dama yishafich, you spill that person's blood. So we see from there clearly that you're not allowed to kill. The idach, the other man, the yama, we go back into the Gemara, katlayu hu de kamagalile. That just tells you that how you're going to kill that person. And, the way he killed somebody, you're going to kill him. But the real warning of not to kill was from the pasuk vayitzav. Gezel, how do you know Ben Noach is not allowed to steal? Because the pasuk says, ki yerek esev nasati lechem es koil, v'amar ab levi, ke'erek yesev, v'loy ke'erek gina. God gave now that we can eat animals like grass. Just like grass you're allowed to eat because it's hefker, so you're allowed to slaughter animals. But what we see from there is that a person was allowed to eat only if it's hefker grass. V'loy ke'erek gina, but if it's privately owned grass and vegetables, you're not allowed to go take it. From here, the pasuk implied that there's an issa for a bnei Noach to steal. The idach And what does the other man the do with that? That's coming to teach. That's just plain pasuk teaching you that from now on, although Adam Arishan had to be vegetarian, Noach was allowed to eat meat. But you don't see anything about Gezel in that pasuk. Aver Menachai. How do you know that Noach was usher from Aver Menachai? The pasuk says, Ach basar benafshoy domoy loisecheli. When the meat together, that the meat is alive, that means it's live animal. The blood you shouldn't eat. In other words, the live meat that you rip off on an animal, you take off its limb, you're not allowed to eat it. So we see clearly Eva Menachai is also for Bnei Noach. The Idach and the other man the Amma didn't want it because that Nishrei Shratzim Hudasa. That's just telling you. That's not telling you you're not allowed to eat the blood. You're not allowed to eat the limb of a live animal. That's just telling you that the blood of an insect is permitted. That's because that's not called basar benafshay. That their blood of shratzim is like the meat, and therefore it's permitted to eat. Only a live animal, the blood is separate from the meat, and that you're not allowed to eat. Seirus, how do you know a Bnei Noach is not allowed to go do castration? The Ksiv, Shirtu Uvaret Ruvuva. God commanded Noach to multiply and get married and inhabit and be fruitful. That was God blessing Noach. It didn't tell him that he can't castrate himself. Kalayim, the Ksiv Mo'if Limineu, that God commanded that only birds should stay with their species. Each bird should stay with its own kind. The idach that was just making it easier for Noach to pair up a male with a female, so that they will be able to procreate when they leave the teva. Bottom line of the whole Gemara is that there is two main opinions over here. There are two. There's Sheva Mitzvahs B'nei Noach, but we don't know what's on the list. One says Birkas Hashem, and Dinim was on the list, and another says no, Seirus and Kalayim take that place, castration. Now, what happens if a Ben Noach violates, New Gemara, what happens if a Bnei Noach violates the commandment? Amar Rav Yosef, Amar Beirav, Al Sholish mitzvahs Ben Noach Nereg. A Ben Noach will get killed for violating 3 of the mitzvahs. Gesher Simen. Remember, it is Gesher. Gilei Raya, Shvichas Damen, Bal Birkas Hashem. If he does Avodah Zarah, killing and cursing the Eibishter. Maskif lo Rav Sheshes asked the question, Bishlam Shvichas Damen Diksiv Sheif Dam Adam Dam Yishafek. Al Halach Manoli, killing I can understand. The Torah says if a Noadai kills somebody, you kill him. But how do you know if he does Gilei Arayas or Birkas Hashem, how do you know he gets killed? If you're going to learn the other mitzvahs from Shvichas Daman, then all the mitzvahs, all 6, should be learned from Shvichas Daman that they get killed for. By Gilei Arayas, there's an extra pasuk that says ish, that implies ish, even a guy that does Gilei Arayas gets the violation and gets killed, like a Yisrael, Avodah Zarah Nama Yisrael ish. The pasuk says one ish. Every person, human being, should not do Avodah Zarah, should not bring his kid to a Melech. So Avodah Zarah should also be one of those mitzvahs that get Misa. Elo says the Gemara Amr Sheshes, Amri Bei Rav, and Yeshiva Rav says, Al Arba mitzvahs ben Nereg. There are 4 mitzvahs that a guy will be killed. You're right, 4 out of 7 they get killed. What are the 4? Gilei Arayah, Shvichas Damen, Birkas Hashem, and Avodah Zarah. Frag the Gemara, one question. Avodah Zarah ben Noach Nereg. If a Ben Noach does Avodah Zarah, will he get killed? But Tanya, we learned in a brisa, Avodah Zarah, Dvarim shebezin Yisrael mimis aleim, Ben Noach muzar aleim. That when a bezdin will kill a Jew for doing Avodah Zarah, a Ben Noach will be prohibited from doing it, but not that we would kill him. Hazara in misalai. Doesn't that brisa seem to imply that we will never kill a Ben Noach for doing Avodah Zarah? He's doing something wrong, but killing him, we will not do that. Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, Azara Shaleh Zu Misasin. The brisa doesn't mean we won't kill him. We will kill him. The fact that it's Azara that they're warned about means that they're warned just like a Jew is warned, and therefore we will kill him if he does Avodah Zarah. So far we learned that there's an opinion that says 4 out of 7, the Ben Noach will be killed for if he violates it. Comes along a new opinion, Rav Huda, V'kuli Talmidei de Rav, and all the other students of Rav, Amri, they say, Asheva mitzvahs Ben Noach nerek, the 7 mitzvahs that a Ben Noach will be killed. If he steals something, if he steals a candy, if he shoplifts, according to Noahide laws, they get killed for that, just for shoplifting. Gali, and not only that, even if they steal something that's not worth a penny, a guy would be killed for. Gali Rachmanu Makada, the Torah told you that if a guy kills somebody, you kill him. So it applies to all other Sheva mitzvahs Ben Noach, a Ben Noach is killed for. Says the Gemara, is that true? While a gozel Ben Noach nereg, will for stealing a Ben Noach be killed? For Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, al gazel, gana, v'gazel, v'chen yefas to'ar. And we're going to see what this means. But geneva gzela, right? And yefas to'ar. Yefas to'ar means that they did znus. Let's say a guy was in the army and of a Jewish army, and then saw a married woman, and as part of the captives, and he's mizana with her. So then he would get killed for that. He's violating that. So guy doing it to another guy, the guy be Yisrael, guy doing it to another Jew, aser. The Yisrael beguy, if Yisrael does it to a guy, and this implies that if Yisrael steals from a guy, mutter, it would seem to be mutter midaraisim, not midarabanan. So then Isa, if it's true that a guy would get killed, right, for stealing, here it says a guy stealing from a Jew. Okay, it's aser. Then Isa, if it's true that a guy would get killed for stealing from another Jew, nis nechayev. Then it should say chayev misa. Why doesn't the Brisa say chayev misa? The chayev misa just says aser, right? So why does the Brisa say that if a guy shoplifts from a Jewish store, it's only aser? It should be completely chayev misa. Answers the Gemara, you're right. He is chayiv misa, but b'shum de kaboyel misnei seifa, since the expression in the end of the brisa says Yisrael b'goy mutar, it uses the word mutar in the end of the brisa that Yisrael stealing from a guy is permitted. Again, midaraisa. Tana reisha also. So the beginning of the brisa it says it's also for a guy to steal from a Jew, but it's worse than that. A guy stealing from a Jew will even be chayiv misa. Says the Gemara. But the Brisa seems to be pedantic in its language. Whenever it wants to say chayev misa, it says the word chayev. The Ketani Reisha, the beginning of the Brisa says al shvichas daman, killing. Goy kills a goy, or goy kills another Jew. Chayev, he's chayev misa. Yisrael begoy, but if Yisrael kills a goy, pate, he's pate for misa. So you see, the Brisa does use the word chayev. Answers the Gemara, right? Hasam hechiktani. In the beginning of the Brisa, it had no choice. It had to use the word chayev. Because lisnei aser mut, if it would say goy be Yisrael is aser, and Yisrael killing a goy is mutter, that's not true. But Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, goy v'roya behema daka, if you kill a goy or somebody who is a shepherd, a known ganef, a goyish ganef, if they fall into a pit, loy malin, you don't have to help them get out of the pit. For loy maridim, but you can't push them into the pit. So therefore, that's why it says the word Yisrael b'goy is potter, not that it's mutter for Yisrael to kill a guy or push a guy into a pit. So therefore, it uses the word potter in the Sefer, so therefore it used chayev there. But in the previous point, it used Yisrael b'goy, Yisrael could steal from a guy, that's totally mutter. So a guy stealing from a Jew, it says asa, but really a guy stealing from a Jew is chayev misa. Now, Kayotze boy begezel, mahi, Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, loy nitzracha ela lepoyel bekerem. That means that things that are similar to gezela, a guy is not allowed to do. What is that referring to? A worker in a vineyard. A worker, while he's cutting the vines and he's working for somebody, he's not allowed to take from the grapes. And a guy is not allowed to do that. Says the Gemara, poyel bekerem emas. When is a guy not allowed to, if he's working for you in your vineyard, when is he not allowed to take from the grapes? If it's when you're ready to sell those grapes, if it's b'shas the time that you're finishing up the work, so heterahu. then he's allowed to take it because a worker, one of the things that the Torah says, a worker, while he's working for you, is allowed to eat from the produce. If it's not from the end of the job, then he's stealing. And the Brisa says this is similar to stealing. Ella Omar Papa. Here's what Papa said. If it's less than a shava pruta, then a goy is not allowed to steal from a goy, and a goy should not take less than a shava pruta from a Jew. And if he does, he's chayiv misa. Says the Gemara, Ihachi goy b'Yisrael. Also, why does the Brisa say if a goy steals from a Jew, it's asur? Why would it, if a Jew steals less than a shava pruta from a Jew, less than a penny from a Jew, he gets the death penalty? Haba mechilahi. The Jew certainly forgave him for stealing that penny, less than a penny. So why would we kill the goy? Answers the Gemara, Need the basa hachi machale, tzara b'shate mi leislei. In other words, you're right. Even if the the Yid was Michael him, but at the same time, the guy caused a pain, a stress for the Jew, and because of that, there's nothing you can do about that. Then therefore, the guy is chayiv misa just for that alone. Guy begoy ki behen. If a guy steals from another guy, kiven the la the gazamali. Then why is it? Guy's taking less than a shava pruta from another guy, that's usher. Since the other guy is not going to be meichel for less than a shava pruta, that's really stealing. Why is it called like stealing? Ella Amar Abacha Baredavika Loinitzrucha. The Bryce is talking about Ela Kovish Schar Sochir. A guy worked for another guy, or a Yisrael worked for a guy, and the guy didn't pay him. So it's not stealing because the guy didn't take anything from the Yid, but the employer didn't take anything, but he just didn't pay. So therefore, that's similar to stealing, and the Bryce is mechadish that they would get misa. An employer guy doing that to an employee, a guy be Yisrael, aser. Yisrael beguy, if the Yisrael is the employer and the guy is the worker, then it's mutter. Okay, you have a Ben Noach, let's say a goy, that he got a shivcha, and he said, this beautiful shivcha, I'm going to make sure my slave that will marry my slave. And another guy came, uvala, and another guy came and was mazana with that. But they're not really married. The shivcha didn't marry the eved, and another guy came and intercepted that shivcha and was mazana with her. So it's not really a married woman. So neregala, he would get killed on that, and that's what the brisa means, similar to a yafas Torah. The Tanya we learned in the brisa, Rabbi Yonasan Mishol Omer Roidev Achel Bei Lahargav Yochel Atzira Be'echem Erev Loihitzo. We go to Omid Beis Nerek Olav. Okay, that doesn't say it. Let's go to a new Gemara. Top of Nun Zayin Omid Beis. We'll stop in 3-4 minutes. Ashkech Rabbi Yaakov Bar Achva Dahaveksiv Besefer Agadat Beirav. Rabbi Yaakov found something that was written in the Agaditic books of Rav. Rav wrote a book, and Rabbi Yaakov found a something listed there. What does it say over there? Ben Noyag, an entry. Ben Noyag Neret, you can kill a goy b'dayan echad. You don't need 23 dayanim, even one judge. Ube'ed echad, you have one witness. Shloi basra, even if the guy wasn't warned. So if there's one witness that saw a guy shoplift, one judge could be mechayev emisa. Mepi ish, the witness, I guess, has to be a male. Mepi isha, not a woman. But even if the witness is a relative of the guy, we will kill the guy. Mishum Rabbi Shmuel Omri, in the name of Rabbi Shmuel, says that we would kill a guy, normally a Jew that does an abortion. Okay, he doesn't get misa because the embryo didn't come out into the world. But a guy who performs an abortion will be chayiv misa. Af al hu'ubarin, even an embryo would be, a guy would be, for killing an embryo, a guy would be chayiv misa. So the Gemara asks a question. Menoah hani mili. How do I know all these things that Rav said? That a Ben Noach doesn't need 23. He just needs one witness, and there's no warning. So the Gemara, the Amar Rabbi Yehuda explained, the Amar Kra, the pasuk says, Ach es dimchel and afshesechem edresh. edroish. You can seek out the blood of somebody that was killed. Afilu dayan echad. Edroish is singular. Even one judge could paskin the whole case. Miyad kol chaya. Afilu shloi bahasra. From any living, anything that is alive, even if he wasn't warned not to do the act, we will hold him responsible. Edrushenu miyad adam. We darshan from that. Afilu be'ed echad. Even if there's one witness, one adam that says the testimony that this guy killed somebody, we will take that seriously to kill the perpetrator. Biyad ish, if the pasuk says only from a man, yad isha, not if there's a woman that is the witness. Achiv, afilakarev, even a relative. So the whole legal system to killing a guy is much more severe than killing a Jew. A Jew, you need witnesses, you need warnings, and of course you need a whole 23 judges. For a guy, it's just one judge, one witness, no warning needed. B'shum Rabbi Yishmael Amri, Rabbi Yishmael, in the name of Rabbi Yishmael, it was said, Af al hu ibarim. You're not allowed to kill a pregnant, he's not allowed to kill an embryo. How do you know? My time with Rabbi Yishmael. What's the reason Rabbi Yishmael? A Jew who kills an embryo, we have that in the pasuk. The pasuk says that if two men have a fight, and one of the men whacks the pregnant lady of another person, and that lady, because of that, miscarried, so then all he has to do is pay for the embryo. He just pays money for that. He doesn't get killed. It's not like killing another human being. But Rabbi Shmuel said that a goy who kills an embryo is chayiv misa. How does he know that from? And says the Gemara, the Ksiv, the pasuk says, shoifech adam ba'adam adam ba'adam dama yishayfech. If you kill a man that's in another man, he's chayiv misa. Ezo adam shu ba'adam. We'll stop in a minute. Which man is in another man? There, it's a pregnant embryo that's in the mother's stomach. And the Torah says, if you kill a man that's within another human being, that man will get killed. Now the Gemara asks, the Tana Kama, Tana de Bei Menashe he, the Omar, call Misa the Hamura Levnei Noach, Eina Ella Ella B'chenek. What does the Tana Kama do? Shoifech dam ha'adam ba'adam dama yishafech. What does he do with that pasuk? He holds that a guy is allowed to kill an embryo. So he learns from that pasuk. He says, Kol misa amura levnei noach eina el chenek. V'shadulei hay ba'adam asefet dekrav darish beihachid ba'adam dama yishafech. Ezi shvichas damim sha'adam shu begufay shel adam havech oime zechenek. In other words, he learns from that pasuk, Sheifech Adam, Dama Adam, if a Ben Noach kills a human being, then you kill the Ben Noach by choking him to death. Because that's how you kill a person within a person. If you burn him or something, that's an outside force killing the person, but that's not from within. So he learns from that pasuk, not that a Ben Noach is not allowed to kill an embryo. What he learns from that pasuk is that a Ben Noach is killed if he violates any of the 7 commandments through the choking death, but not like through knife or anything like that. That's what he learns from the pasuk Sheifet Dam Adam Ba'adam. Okay, so the Gemara continues and says, Mosiv Rav Hamanuna. Rav Hamanuna asked, the Isha loy mipakta, a woman is not commanded on this. The Isha loy mipakta. Well, kasiv ki dativ leman asher yitzava. That the pasuk that says by Avraham Avinu that God says, I know that He commands his whole family to follow these Noahide laws. So we see that a woman is commanded for that. Yes, the commandment of din goes to his sons, the males are involved in judgment. He commands his family to do tzedakah, to do charity, but the women are not involved in dinim, and therefore they cannot be a witness and they cannot be a judge, even in the Noahide laws. Amalei Rav Iva Saba Rav Papa. Rav Iva Saba asked the question of Rav Papa. Ema bas Noach shaharga loy teharek. A daughter of a Noach, a girl, goyish girl that killed, she shouldn't get killed because miyad ish le miyad ish ksiv. The pasuk says Shoyfech dam dam miyad ish. The Torah tells you miyad ish that if somebody kills a person, you should put that ish to justice. So it's from the pasuk. It seems to say, as you can see from the pasuk, it seems to say that if a goyish woman, kills somebody, we're not going to bring her to justice. Amalei. So Rav Papa answered, Rav Ivasava, Hachi Amar Rav Yehuda. This is what Rav Yehuda said. Shoifech dam ha'adam mikol makom. Any human being that kills another human being, doesn't matter what, will be killed. So now the Gemara asks a question: Ema bas noyach shezinsa loy tehareg. A daughter of a noyach, a girl of noyach, that did znus, she shouldn't get misa, because the pasuk says al ken yazav ish v'lo isha. The Torah demands that a man should find a wife, but it doesn't say a woman should find one husband. Maybe she could find many husbands. Amalei. So Hachi Amar Rabbi Yehuda. So he answered. This is what Rabbi Yehuda said. Rav Papa answered. Rav Aiva, Hoyu lebasar echad. When the Torah says that they should get married and become like one, Hadar Avinu Kra. Then the pasuk put them together. That the responsibility of marriage and the commitment to marriage is lying on both of them, the man and the woman, and each one that violates it will get the death penalty. Tarabanan, the rabbis taught ish. Ish. Why does it say by the arayas of a Jew? Let's say an arayas. So a Jew is not allowed to marry his aunt, so he's not allowed to do nus with his sister-in-law. So why does it say ish? A rabbi says a goyim shemazaran al arayas kisrael. A goy is also commanded not to do the arayas like a regular Jew. Now, Frank the Gemara of is from this pasuk in Bayikra. We learned this iser for a Jew, for a guy to do znus. From the pasuk that says Vayishav Hashem Elokim as ha'odam leimar mikol eitz agan ochal teichal. Leimar, we've said before, teaches Adam to not to do gili arayas. Answers the Gemara, Hasam ba'arayis ditu, v'hacha ba'arayis didan. True, there's some arayis that Ben Noach is not allowed to do. And even a goy understands that. He's not allowed to take somebody else's wife. But let's say his unmarried aunt, or something like that, which is only also to, says also to a yid, so then that wasn't part of the Noahide laws. From the ish, we include them, that they also have to keep the arayis that the Jews have. The Ketani Seifa, Ba al Eretz Yisrael, if he came on an erva of Yisrael, for example, a guy came, was Masana with his aunt, so just like a Jew will get the death penalty of skila, so a guy would also get the death penalty, whatever the death penalty is for that violation. Nidim Bedina Yisrael, you get the violation like the Yisrael would get for Chenek or whatever it is. Lamai Hilkasa, Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, Amar Rav Avu, it's much worse than that. It's much easier than that. If we want to bring a goy to trial for violating the arayas of a yid, the way a yid would be brought to trial, so then it would have to be with the 23 judges, with 2 witnesses, and he had to have been warned. Says the Gemara, Migra Gara. So now it becomes easier for the guy, because if he violates, let's say, a married woman for Gili Arayas, so we would give him Chenek or Saif, right? But if he violates a Jewish erva, right, his brother's wife, right, so then we whatever misa we're going to give him, let's say we're going to give him hereg or cherev, or we're going to give him a chenek, but we're going to require that in order to give him that misa, he's going to have 23 judges, witnesses, and warning, and it seems he gets off the hook. Right, he'll never get off the hook if he violates. We don't go easy on him if he violates the Jewish arayas. But like Nitzrach Nara Marasa, and Nara Marasa, an engaged 12-year-old, she didn't go to chuppah yet, right? The lahu for a guy less lahu. There is no such a thing of Nara Marasa, because as long as she didn't get married to her husband, she's not a married woman. Then we're going to judge him like in our judgment, and we're going to give him skila, because there's no concept of that in the Goyish world. Aval Ashes Ish, but a regular Ashes is Bedini Dituda and Hinule, we're going to judge them like a regular, like their judgment, and they will give him Sayef. Latanya, we learned in a Braisa, Bo al Nara Marasa, if the Mizana with a Nara Marasa, need a Meskila, she gets Skila. Al Ashes Ish, if a goy is Mizana with an Ashes Ish, she should get Sayef, right? Need the Mechedik, gets the choking. V'yidi b'dini ditu, Sayef who, they should get the knife. Why do from now on we're going to now judge goyim as if under the Jewish law? Amar Rabbi Yachmar Yitzchak, my Ashes is what's that Ashes is that says you get chenek? It's not a regular Ashes. A regular Ashes is even a goy that was also from Ben Noach and he gets sayef. It's a woman that went to chuppah and didn't have bia yet. According to them, they're not really married because they didn't live with each other. Then they'll have to be judged the way we would judge them, and that's considered Ashes is according to Jewish law. The Torah Abchanina, B'ulas Baal, Yesh Lahem, they understand if a woman and husband got married and lived with each other and slept with each other. But Nichnasu the chuppah v'lo nivala, if they went just to the wedding hall, to the chuppah, and they didn't consummate their marriage, Einhem, they hold that's not considered marriage. So therefore, according to the guy, that's not considered marriage. So he would be in non-violation if he would mizana with that type of woman. But because of ish to include that he's included in the Jewish law, so Marba and Ashes is that even though they went to chuppah and didn't have bia, it's still considered an Ashes ish, and he would get the chenek misa, just like a Jew would get the chenek misa. Okay, we'll stop right over here on Daf Nun Zayin.